Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
It is really co-creating at its best, yes? And you're understanding that you, standing here on the leading edge, are responsible for the summoning forth of the expansion of the universe. Do you get that? We can see how you would be delighted to talk with the likes of us. Because we are non-physical energy and we have broad view. And we know who you are. We know who you are even before you come into these bodies. And we know who you are as you are in these bodies. But the thing that we don't think that you know that we know is that we understand who you have really become now that you are in these bodies. In other words, you live in this time-space reality that is providing contrast for you. And the contrast is causing an expansion of your desires. And the expansion of those desires is causing an expansion of the universe. So something that we want to call your attention to is that as you are living your life experience and something is happening which is helping you to identify or to sharpen a desire, that desire is a vibrational reality that becomes in the moment of the contrasting experience which gives birth to it. And so the thing we know that we don't think you know, that we want you to know, is that in that moment of contrast, the expansion actually occurs. And the part of you that is non-physical, the part of you that is vibrationally like that which is us, goes with that new desire and literally, vibrationally becomes it. In other words, you have expanded in the moment of your knowing what you don't want, because you cannot know what you don't want without the explosion of what you do want happening in the universe. So what we're saying to you is, we become one with that expansion. The non-physical part of you, which is the larger part of you, far and away the larger part of you, the eternal part of you, the non-physical eternal part of you becomes one immediately with every desire in the moment that your contrast gives birth to it. What this workshop is about is the question that so many of you have, and the question that is really a worthy question. Why is it that we're speaking for you, standing in my physical body, don't feel so good? Why is it that there are desires that I know that I hold that are not coming to physical fruition? And we say, it's because those desires have been born and Source has become one with them, and it is truly the vibrational essence of who you now are, but you may very likely still be beating the drum that you were beating that caused you to give birth to the desire to begin with. For example, you don't have enough money, something happens which exaggerates your feeling of not having enough money. You want more money, you've done that like about 1,000,000 times. If you had any idea the resources that have been amassed for you in vibrational escrow, you would feel prosperous. You are multi-millionaires, billionaires in some cases. You have been living and asking, and Source has been yesing, and your vibrational escrow and that which you really are vibrationally is powerfully prosperous. But if you are beating the drum of, I don't have enough money, or what am I going to do, or what am I doing wrong, or why isn't it working for me, or why does it work for that person and it doesn't work for me, or mostly, what am I doing wrong, 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 what am I doing wrong? Well, that's what you're doing wrong. You're holding yourself vibrationally apart from that which you have become. But the good news is, and it is such good news, you have emotional guidance that is letting you know that you are not vibrationally up to speed with that which you have become. Your guidance system, which is based on your emotions, which is felt to you or indicated to you by your emotions has only the function of helping you to know what your vibrational mix is. And for you beautiful flesh, blood, and bone beings, we can see how sometimes you might not be that interested in what your vibrational mix is. But if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would be infinitely interested in what our vibrational mix is, because everything that is happening in your life experience is coming in response to your vibrational mix. You are vibrational beings, period. Oh, there's that bony, bloody, fleshy stuff. We acknowledge. You are beautiful in your manifestation, but you are energy, and you are transmitters of energy, and you are thinking yourself into your creations. And what you think matters. Not just what you're thinking about one thing, but what you think about everything, because what you think adds up to your vibrational mix. So, if your life has caused you to launch a rocket of desire where you want something beyond what you are living, more money, an improved bodily condition, an improved relationship, anything, as your life has caused you to want that, you're getting vibrational, emotional feedback on what your vibrational mix is about that subject. Many of you have navigational systems in your vehicles these days. Jerry and Esther have several different kinds now in several different vehicles. But they all operate on the same premise, which is the system, because of the satellites in the sky and the dishes on the roof and the computers in the vehicles, the system knows where they are right now. So they program in their desired destination, and then the system calculates the route between where they are and where they want to be, period. That is the purpose of a navigational system. And your emotional navigational system is exactly the same thing. It is devised to help you to get from where you are to where you want to be by giving you consistent feedback that is meaningful enough that you can translate it and follow it. Well, this gathering is about teaching you how to translate your navigational system, because your emotions are giving you in the moment accurate feedback, guiding you constantly toward what you are wanting. Magellan says to Jerry and Esther, please proceed to the highlighted route. She gives them visual and verbal description of how to get from where they are to where they want to be. And never, not once, has Magellan ever said to them, sassy broad that she is anyway, it is a woman's voice. Sometimes Jerry says, shut that broad up. She is just sort of insistent about where she thinks they should be going. And when they deviate from the route, Magellan squawks. She said, please proceed to the highlighted route. Please proceed to the highlighted route. But not once has Magellan ever said to them, where were you yesterday? Were you good to your mother when you were little? I'm not going to tell you today because you didn't listen yesterday. And never, you can't get there from here. In other words, Magellan calculates the route, and your emotions do exactly the same thing. Now, Magellan is easy to hear and easy to see. And so you've got to put yourself in a place where you can translate your emotions so that you understand them. So let's say something has happened, and you are in a strong place of strong negative emotion. Let's call it depression, a feeling of powerlessness. On one end of the emotional scale is that feeling of powerlessness. It's a feeling of no freedom. It's the feeling of being out of control. And you describe it as depression, maybe, or fear. They're right there close together. On the other end of the scale is a feeling of empowerment. That's the feeling of freedom. That's where joy and appreciation, that's where that feeling of elation is, and passion. We want you to realize that your emotions are about your perception of your freedom. They are really about how in alignment you are with the potential that is really you. And we don't mean potential in the potential sense of the word. We mean potential in the sense that the largest part of you has already become the vibrational essence of whatever your contrast has caused you to want. And your guidance is letting you know where you are in vibrational proximity to what you have become. Do you know all of the days of your life, as you've been banging around with each other, you've been launching rockets. You've been launching incremental rockets that have given source energy a very clear, accurate sense of who you really are. In fact, not just a sense of who you want to become, but an accurate vibrational accounting of who life has caused you to already become. Do you get that? You are already the prosperous being, vibrationally speaking, and all you got to do is adjust your physical vibration to match it, and then it manifests. And rich people have already figured that out. Healthy people have already figured that out. Those people that are thriving in those arenas that you want to thrive in, whether they have done it deliberately or whether they have done it by default, not knowing what they're doing, they just mimicked somebody else that surrounded them that had already figured it out. Every single person who is living the dream that they once dreamed is someone who somehow, some way, figured out how to get vibrationally up to speed with the essence of that which life had caused them to become. So, friends, dear friends, you're not only causing yourself to become this expanded being, you are responsible for our expansion too. You are the reason for the expanded universe. You are out here on the leading edge, living the nitty-gritty of all of this stuff. It's time for you to give up that unworthy stuff you've been packing around for a while and accept yourself as the leading edge genius creators that you are, with a guidance system that is letting you know how to become a manifested version of the expanded being that this life has caused you to become. You heard that, didn't you? Yes. That's really good. So, you want to get to know your emotional guidance system, don't you? You want to know what that feedback is. And we want you to understand that since you are an extension of source energy, sometimes it's hard for you to hear that, but we don't get how you can not know that. How can you not know that when nothing else could possibly make any sense? How can you not know that you are eternal beings that have come forth from broader non-physical consciousness to experience life, deliberately creating on this leading edge? We want so much for you to get that that's who you are. So, that's who you are. Get it? That's who you are. So here you are, source energy, in these physical bodies, and contrast causes you to launch a rocket of desire. And now the name of this game of life is to close that vibrational gap between the contrast that has caused you to want something. You know, whenever you know clearly what you don't want, you know much more clearly what you do want. So you've been launching incrementally from the day that you came forth into this body, even before that. But we're talking about what this life has caused you to want. So this life experience has caused you to launch these rockets of desires, and these rockets of desires have been being accumulated and tended to by source energy in what we lovingly call your vibrational escrow. In other words, it's there for you. It is your vibrational escrow. It is your future life experience. It is who you are as far as we are concerned right now. It's there. It's us. It's us. It's the us part of you. Already there, knowing where you are in relationship to where we are, which is what you have given birth to and what you are wanting to move toward. Did you get all of that? In other words, you launched the rockets, and source energy has become the manifestation as far as non-physical is concerned of what you want. And now, because we know so clearly who you are, where you are, what you want, where you are in relationship to what you want, source is now beckoning you toward it, giving you constant encouragement toward it, just like you encourage the little one that you have just seen walking for the first time, and you're saying, come on, come on, come on. It's not so different from that. We know you can do it. We know you deserve it. We know that you have given birth to it. There is no reason for you not to have it. Just point this way and keep on the coming. But what trips you up is that you think that when source energy is calling you, that it should sound like angels and harps. So you don't hear the call sometimes, even though it's always there. This constant, steady call. It's this way, it's this way, it's this way, it's this way. Please proceed to the highlighted route. It's this way, it's this way, it's this way, it's this way, it's this way. And the reason that you sometimes, in fact often, in fact really, really often, do not recognize the call of source energy is because you're over here, bless your hearts, in some sort of negative place, maybe in depression or fear or despair, and the call of source energy, even though it is heart-like from where we are, sounds like rage to you.